What's up, everybody? You've tuned in to Just Draws, the podcast that explores hot topics and various experiences among same-gender loving Black men. In each episode, we offer raw, vulnerable, and stripped-down perspectives to give voice to our frequently overlooked population. Here, we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep, peeling back the layers of our experiences as well as heteronormative stereotypes. Let's get into this week's episode. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Darius, and I'm here with another special episode of the Just Draws podcast. So for those of you that have been listening to us, we have, these kind of one-off episodes where we call them just the two of us. And it's usually just kind of a duet between a couple of the co-hosts or a co-host and a friend or someone else who's not a regular on the show. And so I had so much fun with my homegirl and one of my best female friends that I wanted to bring her back to have some more dialogue. So also, I hope that you listened to our previous episode about friendship and our experiences with the LGBTQ while we were in college. So please give a warm welcome and welcome back my homegirl, Anjeleigh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me once again. Hello, everybody.
Awesome.
Good to be back.
So today, in keeping with the idea of how our past experiences influence our future dealings, I thought we'd talk about like crushes and relationships. So me and Anjeleigh have been in each other's lives for a few different crushes and a few different relationships. So we wanted to just kind of come together and share with you all. We're going to laugh, we're going to talk, and we're just going to kind of think about those. So, before we really get into it, so in my windy voice, how you doing?
I am doing good. I am so tired from work, but I am doing well. I hope that you are. How are you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Same thing. Work is working.
Working.
Work that's what it's doing.
Yes, so, life be life. And
yeah, just trying to wrap up, things here so we can close out for the semester. I'm wrapping up final exams and stuff, all of that. So it's been interesting. So people be on the lookout. I'm probably going to do a just thoughts about my experience this semester with my students. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So
it's going to be quite entertaining. That's for sure.
Quite entertaining. So I think you all might want to hang out and check that out a little bit later. So as we get into talking about, relationships and crushes and stuff like that, we kind of got to start at the beginning. So can you remember your first crush?
This is starting out fast. Okay, so allegedly, when I was just before pre-K, my mother said I had a crush on a little fellow at daycare. And she said every day he would say, bye. I'm from a small town, everybody's country. And so he would say, bye, Angel.
Wow.
And I would say, bye, Richie. So apparently that was the first crush that was remembered, but not by me. Mm-hmm. But my first crush ever that I can remember, that in hindsight I can remember, it was a crush when you think about it. There was a young man, and I'm going to use his first name. His name was Brian. Mm-hmm. And he moved. We were in Brian. He moved. We were in second grade. And I remember he moved actually to the Raleigh area.
Okay.
And I remember his first, last name, the address he moved to, and everything. And as an adult, I can remember these things. And apparently that was the very first crush. To remember in detail that way, it had to be second grade. Mm-hmm. And that was it kind of pierced my heart just a little bit when he moved. So yeah, second grade. That was the first one, named Brian.
That's
Brian. Right. Mm-hmm, that
Brian,
was the first.
And not the rest of the name. Yes.
Brian. And not even the rest of the name. You won't even know his last name.
Right. Wouldn't it be interesting, though, if he was potentially listening to this episode and was like, wow, I haven't heard her in a long time.
Right. That would that would be so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
We get more into this. I hope that, it would be interesting if these next, Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hesitate with doing this one because it's kind of sketchy when you start remembering. You're like, ooh, my past was a little bit.
Was a little grainy.
Was a little bit
little,
grainy and grimy.
Grimy, grainy, all the G's.
All of the G's. Good.
gutter, right?
Ghetto, like all the things.
Beach, ghetto.
Ghetto. It
Yeah,
was just
all of that.
like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
Be
ooh, exactly.
ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
it.
thinking
That's it.
about it was, it's taking me some places. So yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to think about this. I don't know if I remember. I mean, I remember crushes, but I'm
You
gonna
know, for the
say
first one,
right. Yeah, yeah. Now I'm not gonna go back to crushes that quote I would have had. That I don't remember, but I had the country ass parents and grandparents. Anybody that was a young female that you might have hung out with at church or
that's
you
it.
might have walked home, with that shit look good.
They go
Yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah,
They go
all of that, and all that little Cheshire cat grinning and shit. So it's like, no, it's not. This is my friend.
Right.
And you dare not tell them that is like your girlfriend, because the next thing you know, she part of the family or
Right.
whatever.
When they gonna come to church with us?
Yeah, never, because we in church all damn day.
Well,
So
what?
yeah, it don't make sense to be in church from 9:30 to 2:30.
Right. Somebody if God ain't showed up by now. We
Yeah, if
probably
he hadn't shown
we
up, he's
probably
not
on.
going to, and we need to take this on back to the house because I'm hungry.
On.
And y'all fried this chicken and potato salad. I made this potato salad last night, so we need to
Bread
be
and cake
yeah,
in his face.
right, and we need to have that. So I think I'm not gonna go as far back because I think there are some instances where I had a situation where my first crush probably was really around sixth grade, but it
Mm.
was a crush, but then it was like the real person that I crushed on, that I could see myself with, all of those things, was probably seventh grade. When I got to junior high school, I was in love with a young lady the entire time that I was in junior high. There were
Mm.
other girls that I was very interested in. So of course this was before, I realized that I had an attraction to guys. So I was really all about females. So I was in love with her, in love with her. I mean, oh my God. And it was crazy because I was so in love with her, but at the time she was way out of my league. I mean, she was gorgeous. She was light skinned. She was, pretty popular. And I was the fat, dark skinned
Mm.
guy that people like, but I wasn't the object of anybody's eye. I wasn't the one that was the person that it was like, oh, I like him, I want to date him, so that didn't happen. But I was in love with her, and she was friends
Wow.
with my cousin, one of my favorite cousins. I have two really favorite cousins that I really grew up with. And so she was friends with one of my cousins, and my cousin still sometimes she'll ask me, or I'll ask her about her, because they still keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was my first like real crush. I remember in ninth grade when we were about to graduate, I got a picture with her when we were about to graduate, and like I held on to that picture for so long, and
Wow.
I was like, wow, yeah, I actually got a picture with her, so.
Wow. That's bringing up a lot of memories because beyond Brian, second grade, then you go into when you really know it's like, okay, you know what? Like the heart beats fast, so it's like, oh my God, here they come.
Mm-hmm,
Like that
mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. Like I remember being in junior high school, I guess it was, and somebody that everybody thought, and he was a very cute young man, but
Mm-hmm.
he and I were friends. But then eventually it was like, okay, you know what? I guess I kind of do like him just a little bit. But then it was just kind of like nothing. But then I did notice like the little heart beating fast type deal. And I was like, ooh, okay. Ooh, what's that? So, and then like you're saying, oh, the person's way out of your league or whatever. I remember seeing upperclassmen
Mm-hmm.
and thinking, man, wow, he is cute. And I will tell you, well, he, okay, I eventually, as an adult, ended up having a relationship that was fruitful with somebody who I did see as a younger person, like, oh, wow, like, you know, what a person, to
Mm-hmm.
be in a relationship with, because he was cute. The whole light skin, good hair type
Right.
deal, light skinned. And then eventually it did become a thing.
Okay.
As an adult, though, but
Okay.
as children, we were just in passing, and that was it. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you for provoking that memory.
Yeah, that's what we do here at Just Draws. We dive deep and we provoke memories. Yeah. What was your first relationship
Ooh,
that you can remember?
a serious relationship, I will say, to the point where I was like, okay, this is the thing with us, and that's my person, that's my man.
Your
College,
husband, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
But no, not really. Hence the fruitfulness of the previous relationship that I spoke of.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
No, it was in college, and it was a relationship to the point where it was friends. It wasn't like two ships passing by, like, okay, college life. It wasn't that. It was like, okay, that's my friend. And it was a solid relationship. It was good. Like, when you look back and go, that was my dude right there. Yeah. That was, man, I love that dude right there. Like, when you get into that kind of, when your reminiscence turns into like smells and sights and sounds, that's when you know that was the one, because you can almost see it again. And that's for me, this person, it was in college.
Okay.
About sophomore year.
Okay.
About 96, 97.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was, friends. That's what made it a great relationship.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
What
A
about
lot of
you?
people talk about that. So for me, to be honest, my first relationship was in my 40s, my early
in your
40s.
60s.
I said my 40s. I said, yeah,
You
right.
in my 40s, like, back
Yeah,
when I was
back
what?
in
Back in
19
1913. But no, ma'am.
and lean back in my chair
Right. And look at the ceiling.
and look up,
Oh,
talking about
back in my day.
uh
Looking off in the distance, about
yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
And your
boy,
mind snapped back.
pull 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no.
was in my 40s. Yeah, my first relationship. Now I dated, but yeah, my first relationship was actually the first man I was involved. So not involved with, but the first guy that my first relationship was with a guy. I'll say it like that.
We're going beyond the whole. We're not going to say the name because we'd have to say two names. Two names.
Okay, two names.
But right, two names, not three names, but two names.
Right.
Because every time the subject would come up, you'd be like, something. You'd be like, so and so. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not maybe. Okay, so it's beyond those days. So this is, you talking about solid relationship.
Oh, I got where you're going. Okay,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm back in the room now. I'm back in the room. I had left the room for a minute, and so I went to go get something to drink, and I came back. Yeah, so now I'm back in the room with you. Got you. And so and a snack. Yeah, I went and got a snack. So yeah. So yes, no, my first relationship.
When you were
even though I dated women up until my 30s, and I was only interested in women up until my 30s. My first relationship was with a guy, and it was in my 40s, my early 40s, and it was cool. It was cool for a while. Everything was good. We talked. It was a long distance though, so that was one thing that I never wanted to limit myself to what I could find in my area, because I felt like it wouldn't have mattered. That's kind of what my thinking was behind that. It's like, if we live in the same area, there's going to be instances where we're not going to be able to hang out anyway because of work, because of other obligations, because of other friends, things of that nature. So even if we connect and we're not in the same area, we can make that work. And so we got together and things were good. We were together for about a year and a half before we kind of called everything off, just because the communication wasn't really working well. The level of reciprocity was not there. Like I would reach out and reach out and reach out, and the only time we would talk is if I reached out. So that was an issue for me. And I finally just kind of said, listen, we, what are we doing here? Or should we just kind of let this go because
Mhm.
neither one of us is really trying to make the effort here anymore. I'm not making the effort because I'm not feeling like it's being reciprocal. And then clearly you
Mhm.
have a lot of things going on right now that I'm not even on the list of priorities, or I'm not even in the hierarchy of
Oh,
things.
wow.
So, so I said, well, let's just do that. So, I mean, we're still friends now. We still follow each other on social media. So periodically we'll reach out and, how are things going, et cetera. So things are good. I did learn later after we had broken up that there was a lot of things that were going on with him, and he lost a parent shortly after, we broke up, and that parent had been ill, and so he was kind of taking care of her, and so that was the issue.
Wow.
And so I was like, wow, okay, that's
Oh, that's
that's
and that may have played some pieces with what
yeah.
you all were going through, because that's a lot to carry.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was. And I learned in that, I really, really learned in that, like, what my love languages are. And my
Uh,
my primary love language is words of affirmation. So,
yeah.
and those words of affirmation don't have to be in the form of like compliments and stuff like that, but just communication. The idea
Mhm.
of, hey, I'm thinking about you, I miss you, or just, hey, how
Mhm.
you been, those kind of things. And I've learned that
Oh,
in relationships, I need to interact with the person that I am dating, or I'm talking
absolutely.
to, or I'm with. I don't we don't have to talk on the phone, but there has to be communication. Like, I need to get some form of communication from you daily, or at least
Yeah.
I don't even want to say at least every other day, but yeah, it definitely needs to be daily. Like, I need to, hey, everything all right with you today? Cool.
Yeah.
If we talk, we need to talk at least once a week, something like that. So I've learned that that's definitely my primary love language, and that's
Mhm.
that's with friendships and everything. Do you know what yours is?
So I have my primary is words of affirmation,
Hmm.
more so on the side of how to communicate with me, like encouraging me, affirming me, like I see you, I appreciate you, like letting me know, like not that you agree with me, but like you're actively listening to what I'm saying. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, girl, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you might not agree, but you're saying, yeah, girl, they know better than that.
Right.
That's right,
Hmm.
not taking my side per se, but kind of taking my side. So like
Hmm. Hmm.
communicating with me in the way that you're affirming what I'm saying, and
Yeah, yeah.
affirming me as a person to encourage me, to encourage who I am and affirm who I am. And I also like acts of service.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not so touchy feely to
Hmm.
the point where it's like, oh, a hug and everything is like, mm-mm. I need you to cut the grass. I need you to help me. I need you to lighten the load. I need you to clean. I need you to dust. I need you to
Hmm.
cut. I need you to do the thing. Wash the dishes. And I'm sure we'll talk about marriage, but those love languages are, whew, I can't even
Do you get a
express.
chance to, I was going to say, do you get a chance to actually see those love languages enacted by your partner within a marriage? I've never been married, so.
I will say this: I know my love languages, and I'm able to. The one thing that I've learned as you grow and mature, is that you will know the love language. It's important to know that, and you need to be able to tell your partner how you need it. So you can't say, "Well, my love language is quality time,"
And then you don't do it.
and then you don't do it, but you don't know it. So it's like
Oh,
saying
yeah, yeah, true.
it's like saying I speak Spanish,
Hmm.
but then you ask me to speak Spanish, and I got your Quiero Taco Bell. That's all I got. That's not speaking Spanish. Memorize the commercial. That's not the same thing.
Hmm.
So if you're gonna say this is my love language, you have to be able to tell your partner this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. For you to affirm me, this is what it looks like. Support. This is what it sounds like. Encouragement. The
Right.
acts of service. This is what it looks like. Washing the dishes. This is what it sounds like. Babe, I got that. Don't worry about that. I got that trash can. Don't worry about that. I got that, but don't worry about that. I got that, babe. Don't worry about that. Let me take
And,
this out to
and the thing that I
the
learned about the love languages, and I guess I always knew this, but it didn't click until I really started to think about it when I
Mhm.
when I got into my most recent relationship. I learned that, okay, the love languages, my love language isn't necessarily what the other
Oh,
person's love
not at all.
language is. Yeah.
Not
And
at
I need to make sure that I know what theirs is because
all.
I
That's
need
right.
to show up in the ways that their love language
That's right. So I'm glad you
is.
said that because you could say, "Oh, I love you." Like you can say all day, "I love you, I love you," and that
They
other
not
person
get it. Hmm.
feel the love because you're not showing me love the way I perceive and receive
Right.
love to be. You
Right.
can
Right.
buy, baby. I'm not gonna wear that, or I'm gonna
Hmm.
lose that. I'm not. Gifts, but I need these dishes washed though.
Right.
I need that's a cute bracelet. I love. That's a
I
nice pop.
love that, but I need this tree
I
put up.
but get tree cut down. Okay, I need a car oil change. I need things done.
Right.
It's not, but you have to, and you have to accept that is the way the person needs love. You
Yeah.
can't change that. You can't decide, well, I've been doing, and the other thing is they change. Your love language today may be this, and it may be something different. You may take a liking to that, but like you said, primary, your primary one will be what it is.
What it
Um,
is, yeah. I've learned to say that too, that this is my
yeah.
primary because my second, the second on the list for me is it's either between acts of service and quality time, but I think it's quality time. So
Mm-hmm.
quality time for me is not necessarily that I need to have you up under me kind of thing, but it's like, hey, I want to spend some time with you. Like, let's just be in the same space together,
Mm-hmm.
or let's just, maybe we are watching TV. I'm not a huge cuddler unless I'm in a relationship with somebody or I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in being in a relationship with somebody. So I'm not that dude. I'm not the one that's like, oh, I just want to cuddle. I just want to. No, I'm not that. But
Yeah.
if we're in a relationship, yes, I want to maybe sit next to you while we're watching TV and put my hand
Right.
on your
You know,
knee,
a song.
or yeah, or you stretch out and put your legs across my lap. Like that's good
Right,
enough for me. I don't
right,
need,
right,
a lot of extra things
right. And
with
touchy
with that.
feelings. Right. One thing that I've learned that, and I don't know if people get this deep into it because I have an ability to go down rabbit holes.
Hmm.
The love languages for me, I realized that I had them or what they were, even like early on into marriage. And I will say that my husband wake up and he wouldn't say good morning.
Hmm.
And I was like, what's, as my grandma said, what ail you? What's ail you? What's going on here?
Right.
But, but the affirmation part comes with good morning
Right.
because growing up, we never looked at you in the face
And
and
didn't
walked
say
by
anything. Yeah.
and didn't say anything. And growing up, good morning was like, I'm glad that you're still alive.
Right.
It was almost like, I wish you the best. It was saying, I love you in a simple good morning. So then when we got married and he didn't say good morning, I was like, well, what's going on in here? What's wrong with you? And even to this day, we've been married for a minute. And if he says, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Because to me, what you just said was, you don't wish me the best and you don't love me. And that's simply because that comes from something that was established as a child. So
Right.
some of our love languages may be rooted. I'm not a therapist, disclaimer. I look at things from different perspectives from the point of, where did this come from? Why am I wired to hear your words and it's like you're giving me life? Versus if you hug me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, but what about the dishes? Where does that come from? And it comes from my childhood, hearing encouragement, being supportive, hearing good morning, those type things. And so, the acts of service thing, people cutting grass. My brothers would cut grass, wash the dishes, mop the floor. And I'm like, oh, look at that. We hugged
You
and
are
our favorite
you are
joke was,
on that cutting grass though.
I
You
am on
that
that
is that
cutting
is a
grass.
thing.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you what that is too. Okay, let's go hard. Let's go deep
Let's
here.
go.
Let's
Let's
go
go
deep.
hard. Let's go
Go deep. Let's
hard.
go hard here. Let's
Let's
go
go
hard here.
hard. What we talking
That's
about here? Let's go hard.
hard. Because when you cut the grass, you get the grass down so low we can see if there's a snake.
Okay.
See, I
Because
grew up in
that's that country. Yeah, that's that country
that's
coming out
that
in me.
country. And
Yeah.
snakes be snaking.
Right.
And it's my safety. When you cut that grass and trim those bushes, you're telling me you are concerned about my safety. And don't mess around and put seven dust out, because you really
What is
don't want
that?
seven dust to keep
Yeah.
like spiders and things away from your house. So
Okay.
like you put more like the spring, summertime. It's like it's dusty, but like
Okay.
a insecticide, something like that. But I
Okay.
mean,
See, I'm a city guy, so like, yeah, I mean, we cut grass and we had grass and stuff like that, but it wasn't. I don't know anything about seven dust. Yeah, that's a.
those of you who eat chicken livers and gizzards,
And
no,
gizzard, yeah. If you eat chicken livers and gizzards, you know about seven dust, yeah.
you all
And
know
liver, yeah.
seven chicken gizzards,
Livers,
liver,
liver,
and
and
chops
neck bones,
and taters. If you know what taters are from Quick
and neck
Stop,
bones.
and neck bone, if you eat a neck bone sandwich, you know what seven dust is. But if you do things like that, it's to keep the house, of course, keep insects and stuff from the house, but you're keeping it safe. You're looking out for the well-being of me, family, things like that. It's just, I don't know, those acts of service is big for me. Words of affirmation. I mean, quality time is good too. But the other part that I wanted to say, because I know you have more questions, is because I know somebody in the audience wants to hear this too. So I'm gonna give them what they need.
They do. Yeah, give the people what they want.
Prescription for them. You have to teach your partner what that looks like and sounds like to you. If you can't do that, it's okay. If you can't do that, then that may not be your love language.
Right.
And that's okay.
I've learned that. Yeah, I've learned that too. That yeah, you have to be able to articulate what that is, and in the ways in which it, like you said, it manifests or it shows up. And when you don't do that, you can't do that. It shows that you're unsure of what it is, and that's fine. Like the thing about that is it's fine if you're unsure, but you need to be able to say that I'm unsure, because then that's something that somebody can love you through or can help you through. But if I don't know it, I can't help you with it, or I can't show up in the way that you need me to show up.
That's right, because I may feel like if physical touch is not my love language, then you may desire hugs and kisses and cuddling. But if I don't know that's what you mean when you say physical touch, I won't do anything because you hadn't shown me how to do it. You hadn't shown me what to do. And so you'll start feeling neglected, or like some kind of, like, oh, well, she doesn't want to do, but they don't want to do that. Well, no, it's not that I don't want to. It's you hadn't shown me, like, what do you like? You want me hug up top, down below? What you like? You want me to spoon? You got to tell them how. You got to teach them the language, basically, because you said that's your language. Right. So you teach them how to speak your love language, because if you speak it, you will reap a harvest.
Okay. And that's a word.
That's a word.
And that's a word. So speaking of hugging and kissing and touching and rubbing, what was your first, you remember your first sexual encounter?
Oh my. We went dark all of a sudden. Let me see. We were
because you had to clear your throat. Your throat.
Let me clear my throat. Right. Oh gosh. He is not gonna hear this, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't remember it, not so much. It was not my most it was not let's just say, when I think about it, it doesn't give me a feeling in my shanana. It doesn't make me go, whoo, yeah. I don't have
and you clap and kick your leg up.
Right, hit my knee.
Yeah, slap your knee.
Yeah. I don't have any of that.
Gotcha.
It must not have been that exciting.
Okay.
That's what Prince said. They say the first time ain't the greatest.
Yeah, mine wasn't at all. And I do remember it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
What was going on? Right.
I was 12 and didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Well, I will say that I was not 12. God knows.
I know it. And I look back on that and go,
18?
What the hell? Yeah.
18.
Okay.
9-ish, yeah.
That's average. That's about when you start thinking about that.
Yeah, I can say that and maybe it's because the comparisons, and so it kind of went to the back of my mind, or maybe it was, I'm sorry, just not that great. I didn't have a point of reference, so it was like,
right, and that's it too. That's the other thing, yeah.
That it? That was it. Woo. Yeah. That's all. God, they were talking about this like it was the end. Like this is going to be everything.
But like, do you remember? Okay, do you remember being younger and knowing about people having sex when we were like in 5th and like 6th grade? Do you remember?
Yes, 7th grade.
And it did not seem
14,
so
like what
crazy
God?
at the time. Yeah, it didn't seem crazy at the
No.
time.
No, but now I look at, I guess because I have
Yeah,
kids,
yeah,
and I'm like 14. Woo.
exactly. But there were people having sex at 11 and 12 and 13.
12.
Right.
12.
Me, 12. Like, what was going on?
What the world?
And it was so bad. Like, and again, because I didn't know what I was doing, really neither one of us knew what we were doing, but it was so bad. And this was with a female, but it was like neither one of us knew what we were doing, to the point that it turned me off from sex for like 4 years after that. I was like, nah, this ain't it. I felt like I needed to do some more research.
Wow.
I was like, I
But
need
not some more research.
I need to go check out some things and see what didn't go well, and assess this.
Do some more research?
Yeah, I had to do some research. I had to go look at some things and do some comparative analyses, because it didn't make sense.
Okay, analyses.
Yeah. Analyses, yeah. So
right.
It didn't make sense. But yeah, it was horrible. But later, it got better, and after that research and
yeah, I guess I did some research of my own. And that's up to the listener to figure out what
the research is, right?
And,
yeah.
And so
exactly.
whether it was quantitative or qualitative,
or whether it was hands-on or
right, all hands on deck.
All hands, yeah. Exactly. Yep. I'm with you. I'm in the room.
That's where you go right there to my wait a minute.
Yeah. Hey. Right there. You see that? You see what you did right there? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Look off into the corner and gaze off. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
My God.
So getting back into right. We both got a little tear in our eyes because research is that thing.
Research showed there was a lot missing off that first encounter.
That's right. However, comma.
However, in comma.
And the comma. But we experienced those things, and of course that gave us our litmus test per se of what not to do and how not to function. So like going back to the idea of like the relationships, and we talked about like our first relationship. So do you think that the relationship that you're in now is your best relationship?
Oh boy, these questions. I don't know where you got these demonic questions from, but
why they got to be demonic though?
Because now you're getting all over here.
Because it's demon time.
Because it's over there. Because it's time, folks. What did the girl call it? Legion. It's
Legion.
Time.
This Legion.
You calling out Legion and everything. It's I can't right. I think that it is the best mature relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to in marriage, it's like you get to learn a lot more about yourself than you do when it's just y'all dating.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got your own address, and you don't have to consider things like splitting things in half. If it's a lot to consider. It is the best relationship that has matured me.
Okay.
In dating, and I can say even when you get serious to the point where you're like having kids and stuff, if you are maturing, it makes you look at you like, okay, this is not working out. The last one didn't work out. The other one didn't work out. Now what's going on here? The common denominator is me.
Okay.
And
right.
As far as like this relationship, it's a marriage. And so, I mean, I have no other marriage to compare it to. Relationship wise, it is the best to the point of, again, when you get married, it's like, that's it, Jack. This is what you're working with. This is, you better figure out what corner he hadn't touched, because this is what you're going to be working with.
Right.
And figure out some things. So, and I can say it is the best relationship because the love language thing that came out of being married. I wouldn't have known. I don't think I would have known those languages and how to get down into the root of things and where it comes from and how to really try to understand the other person, if not for marriage. Yeah. So, yeah. Is it the best sexual relationship? Is that the question?
No.
So,
but I mean, if you want to talk about that, you can.
I mean, it is.
Okay. Well, good.
You
better save yourself. Save yourself.
My God, today. Now
don't go down with that ship.
If there's nothing else, there is that.
Okay, yeah, it's like and that better be the answer.
Considering, and I'm looking off in the corner talking about. Oh my!
Yeah, considering people might hear, so yeah, that better be the answer. Correct.
Yeah. My God.
Correct.
It will. It'll hold you together.
Okay.
My.
Hang on in there.
What? Hang on in there.
Right.
Think about that if you can't think about anything else. But nah, it's it is the best relationship.
It's good. What
it's I guess it is the best one. I married him.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what thing. You kind of answered it though, but what things made it the best?
I think stability made it the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think being old, like mature. That's what I mean when I say old, like older. When you're maturing, we kind of have matured together.
Okay.
And one thing that makes it the best is, I mean, honestly, our children make this relationship. Like, kids people say, oh, I stay together for my kids, but it's not necessarily for them. It's because of your tie with that person through your kids. It's like this love that we show them together makes this the best. So,
yeah.
But yeah, just challenging yourself to make things work is a true sign of maturity and love for the other person, actually. So it's really grown me for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's a deep question.
Yeah. I tend to do that.
Yes,
get a little deep. Per our podcast, we dive
per
deep.
the podcast.
And I've said that for the second time in this episode. Yes,
you have.
Dive deep. So yeah,
that's what makes the relationship.
That's what made it. Diving deep. Yep, that's it.
My God, and
splash.
Now, right? Come on, got some water in here.
Yeah, some water in here. What's that? Why it's so wet? But
why am I perspiring?
Right.
My God.
I think for me, I've only been in love once in my life. Now I've dated, and I've been in lust and I've been in strong with someone and I've said the words I love you to people, but I've really only been in love with this previous this relationship that
we know.
Yeah. I mean, and I did not like that shit. I didn't. I mean, I'm being facetious, but I was like, I don't like this. I don't like the way I feel about this. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that whenever I don't hear from you, like I'm not, I don't feel right. And then when you call or when I see your name pop up on the phone, like, right, you get that giggle shit, right, and you laying on the bed and kicking your feet up.
Right. Speaking of laying on the bed,
okay,
back to the crushes. There was a person. This is back to the Friends episode too.
Right, I was like, be careful. I was like, be careful.
Yes. And they were, God, they're gonna know who I'm talking about. But I would go lay on this person's bed and I would say, it's my crush. But then, like, if I ever saw him, I would never say anything. So that's just like a fantasy.
I wish that you could see my face because I think I just figured out who that was. Yeah.
So when people say they have a crush,
was hilarious.
Honestly,
I was in the room with you.
College crushing.
When y'all were laying on the bed together.
I would never and when that happened, I almost died. Because he was.
Because wait a minute, are we talking? Okay, I think we're talking about the same person. My old roommate. from college?
Then I would come and lay on
Okay,
that bed and I
got
was
it.
that's my crush.
Yeah,
And I
right.
would rub on the sheet and everything and then like lay down. And
And
then
the one time you did that and you were in there laying around on his sheets and he
I
came
like
into the
had
room. He
died.
came,
Oh
yeah,
my
that
God.
was
I almost died.
hilarious.
And I could only sit still. Like he
Yeah.
came and he was so funny because he like came and he laid down and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and he was like, "Okay, it's fine. No, you're fine. You can lay here. That's cool." Yeah, I mean, but that my roommate at that time was super dope, super cool. We're still friends. We were friends in high school, and we went to we traveled to the school together, and we were roommates our junior year, and he was so dope, so cool. He still is.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and it was so funny. I remember that. I remember that now. Yeah, all that.
And he was absolutely just for the audience, so they can see it without seeing it. So he was.
You okay? You okay over there? Come on back to us. Come on back. Come
on back.
Yeah, follow to come towards the light.
Dreamy, like
I mean, he was alright.
Fantasy, like
he was
oh my God, it was the hair, it was the voice, it was the thought of him was just wow.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He was a cool dude.
Until that time he caught me on his bed and then I got frozen.
Yeah,
and I was like,
you were Elsa. And
I was into the unknown. I was over there.
Let it go.
And I did.
And you did.
After he left the room.
And did.
Because I couldn't move while he was in there. So that's college crushing. So I think there are variations of crushing. Like, and I have an adult crush. Even as a married woman, I have a crush. I think every adult still has a different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's healthy to still. You still have eyes, so I think that's healthy.
Johnson is definitely gonna be my husband if anything happens with this marriage.
Got you.
That's him. Okay. I'm gonna say that like I want to see it.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's been my best, and it was the best because with nobody else that I had been with or have been with, I should say, nobody else that I've been with have I saw myself in the future with. Like I have in my mind built a future and a family with this person, and it pisses me off because I'm thinking like that. I'm not an emotional type of dude. I'm not the guy that's not me. But it's that, and I'm like, wow, like, and even the way that like he looks at me when we video chat, it's like, okay, I can see the admiration there. You know, we've gone through our moment, moments. But you know, it's just like, wow, this is interesting. You know,
and that's somebody really funny.
Yeah.
and even like I remember the first time I saw my current husband across the room, and I was like, oh,
hi.
What? I said more than that. In my mind, I said, oh, we're adults. I said, oh, he can get it. Like, let me see what you doing over there. Hey, how you doing? From a distance. And I said, I think he wants to marry me. He wants to have kids with me.
You said that at that time?
I did. I said, that dude right there wants to be my baby daddy. That's what I said. And my friend giggled. And I giggled too. And I was like, because at that time, I wasn't really looking for anybody. But it was just, and we didn't even talk. Honestly, the first time we saw each other, he looked at me and stared at me. I looked at him and stared at him. And it was about 9-10 months later when we saw each other again at a whole nother event. And he was like, you were at such and such, weren't you?
And you giggled again.
And I giggled, and we are there. I was.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and then it came out that he had asked about me and had looked for me at other events and all that. So here we are.
We didn't have social media for him to go.
We didn't know.
To go, let me go find a Snapchat.
Let me go look
her IG. Yeah, no.
Her Instagram.
Because we barely had a cell phone. So
barely. And it was in a bag in the car.
And it was in a bag. With that cord, that coiled cord that you had to plug into the cigarette lighter for it to work.
And that heavy bag. Talk about what?
That's right.
Why
We
are
were
you
still
taking it in the
writing
car?
numbers down. Yeah, we were still writing numbers down.
Right. Had numbers in the bag.
Let me get
It
your
was a lot.
number. Or if you from up north, let me get your math. So,
Let me get your math.
yeah,
I
so
cannot. Yes, those were those days. But yeah, that whole how you looking at somebody. Yeah. And I can see that. Like when you say that you can picture yourself with them like in the future, that speaks volumes to like your level of affection for them.
and it sucks so bad. Oh my
That's
God, it sucks so bad that it's like you wake
right.
up and you're like daydreaming and thinking about,
Right. You were like, I don't like
this is bullshit. This is such
but
bullshit.
it's called what love do. And so because
And I remember asking him, I was like, okay, what? And I asked you the same question. I said, okay, what does it feel like when you're in love with somebody? And I was like, I don't.
because you didn't want to feel that.
I didn't want to feel that. And I'm like Ashanti at the beginning of Baby, Baby, Baby. When she goes, I don't ever remember feeling like this. Like it was that kind of thing. Right. I was like, man, what is this about? What is happening to me? I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it happened.
It happened.
And so here we are.
And it's happening. Yeah.
And happening.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. So what do you think? What do you
I can
think
even
the future?
see like that earlier when you said that, and I was like,
yeah, it's not.
It is.
So what do you think the future holds? Like as far as like us and our relationships, situationships, whatever they are.
Oh, if I had that answer, I would take some. I would take up a collection plate.
The doors of the church are now open.
The doors of the church open. Pass the plate. You can pay online, cash.
You can pay online if you need to. You take Cash App, Zelle,
yes,
Venmo.
I think the future is wide. Well, I hate to say wide open because it's very broad and it also has another connotation.
Please.
I think your future it can only be better. Just because you learn, it's really up to the person what your future ends up being because, in God, of course, but the future of your relationship, you have to learn every time. So people think, oh, you argue, whatever. You have a choice. You can learn from that. And your future holds whatever you'd like for it to. And you can speak it out there and you'll have exactly what you say. So just like you were saying, that you could see yourself with
Yeah.
And just like I said, what I said, and here we are. So you have the power to actually speak the future. Yeah. Not in a sense of like Sister Odessa, the fortune teller, but like will to yourself. Or Miss Cleo.
Call me now.
Not in that sense, but in the sense of what do I want? And setting the boundaries and putting things in place so that you can have what it is you desire in your future. And that goes for both parties.
Right.
Setting those boundaries, knowing the love languages, all the things that we've talked about, and then really just making it the best that you can while being the best that you can, learning and growing and being mature. So the future like holds the best. And that's, you want the best for yourself and you want the best for your partner, your significant other, your lover, your friend.
My step lover. No, what is it? What was that movie that we had to watch? My stepson, my lover, whatever. Yeah, all of that.
Something.
My mother, my brother, my sister, and my lover. Yeah, all of it.
Yes, but the future holds a lot of love for everybody, actually. Just embrace it, and be willing to accept the feeling of being loved and loving somebody else. Yes.
I agree. And it being something that is reciprocal and that is consistent and that speaks to, whatever your love language is and the ways in which that love language manifests.
Yes, very much so. That's really good stuff. Yep. That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
If I could rap fast, I'd rap right.
Right. We can close out on that.
I got that.
So thank you again for joining me on this episode. And
absolutely,
that was a good one. That was a good one.
That love piece is so deep. Like there's different things that you can love, and love is, oh gosh, that's a deep word.
It is.
A podcast in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. So thank you for joining me, and we definitely are going to do this again. So listeners, you all stay tuned because we will be back.
Yes, we'll be back.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Now be sure to like, share, and follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Spotify at Just Draws. That's JUSTDRAWZ. Until next time, as you interact within your various communities, remember to be like Draws and don't be afraid to offer a little bit of support.